The camera started recording at 2:47 a.m. I didn't plan it that way. I just felt like I needed to document whatever was about to happen. That feeling in your gut when something's wrong but you can't explain why. The air in my apartment had changed, heavier, like the walls were holding their breath. It was Halloween night, or technically the morning after. Most people were asleep. The parties had ended hours ago. The streets outside my window were empty, quiet, still. But inside felt different. I live alone in a fourth-floor apartment in Portland. Old building, creaky floors, thin walls. You get used to the sounds. The neighbor's television, footsteps above, pipes groaning. But that night, the sounds were wrong, like they were coming from places they shouldn't. I set my phone on the dresser, camera facing the hallway, red recording light glowing in the darkness. I told myself I was being paranoid, that the stories about 3 a.m. were just internet folklore, creepypasta nonsense, but I couldn't shake the feeling that something was watching me through the dark. The clock on my nightstand read 2:53 a.m., 7 minutes. Before we go any further into what I captured that night, I need you to do something. Subscribe to this channel, ring that notification bell, because here at Chills from Reality, we document the things that happen when the world isn't looking, the moments between sleep and waking, the hours when reality bends. And if you make it through this story, you'll understand why some footage should never be recorded. Let me take you back to how this started. 3 days before Halloween, I began noticing small things. Objects moved slightly from where I'd left them. My coffee mug on the wrong side of the counter. A book I'd been reading left open to a page I hadn't reached yet. Little things, easy to dismiss as memory lapses or distraction. But then came the sounds. At first, just faint scratching, like fingernails on drywall, somewhere inside the walls. Mice, I thought. Old building, happens all the time. I mentioned it to my landlord. He shrugged it off, said he'd send someone to check next week. But the scratching got louder, more deliberate, and it only happened at night. Always after midnight, always in the same spot near the hallway closet. Then 2 nights before Halloween, I heard footsteps. Not above me, not in the hallway, inside my apartment. I was in bed, half asleep when I heard them. Soft, barefoot on hardwood, walking from my living room toward the bedroom. Slow, deliberate steps. I froze, heart hammering, listened. Step, pause. Step, pause. Closer. I grabbed my phone, turned on the flashlight, swept it across the room. Empty. Nothing there. The footsteps had stopped the moment the light came on. I checked every room, every closet, every corner. Nothing. Doors still locked from the inside. Windows sealed shut. I didn't sleep that night. The next day I tried to rationalize it. Old buildings settle. Sounds carry weird through walls and floors. My mind was playing tricks because Halloween always makes people jumpy. I almost convinced myself, until I found the message. It was written on my bathroom mirror, not in steam or condensation, in something dark, something that looked like, I don't know, ash maybe, or dirt. 3 words, barely legible, smeared across the glass. 3 a.m., watch. My hands were shaking when I wiped it off. The residue was cold, greasy. It didn't smell like anything I recognized. Not smoke, not dirt, something else. Something organic and wrong. That's when I decided to record everything. I set up my phone in the bedroom, aimed at the hallway. If something was happening, I wanted proof. I wanted to know I wasn't losing my mind. I charged it fully, cleared space on my storage, and waited. Halloween night felt different from the moment the sun went down. The temperature dropped fast, unnaturally fast. By 10 p.m., my apartment was freezing even though the heat was on. I could see my breath in the living room. Condensation formed on the inside of my windows. I tried to stay awake, drank coffee, watched videos on my laptop, but exhaustion crept in. By 2:30, my eyes were closing on their own. I set an alarm for 2:55 a.m. and let myself drift. The alarm woke me at 2:55 a.m. exactly. The apartment was silent, too silent. That oppressive, smothering quiet where even your heartbeat sounds too loud. I sat up in bed, checked my phone, still recording. Red light steady. Good. I got up, walked to the kitchen, filled a glass of water. My hands were steady, but my pulse was racing. The air felt thick, like walking through invisible cobwebs. Static electricity made the hair on my arms stand up. 2:58 a.m. I went back to the bedroom, sat on the edge of the bed, watched the hallway through the open door. Darkness pooled there, thicker than it should be. The streetlight outside usually cast a faint glow through the living room, enough to make out shapes. But that night, the dark seemed to swallow the light. 2:59 a.m. My breath came out in visible clouds. The temperature had dropped again. I could feel cold radiating from the hallway like an open freezer. My skin prickled. Every instinct screamed at me to turn on every light in the apartment, to call someone, to leave. But I stayed, because I needed to know. 3 a.m. For exactly 10 seconds, nothing happened. Complete silence. No ambient sound. No distant traffic. No building settling. Nothing. Like the world had paused to take a breath. And then I heard it. A single knock. From inside the hallway closet. Not a creak. Not the building settling. A deliberate knock. Knuckles on hollow wood. 3 times. Knock, knock, knock. I stared at the closet door. It was closed. I knew it was closed because I'd checked it 3 times before going to bed. I watched it through my doorway, 20 feet away, barely visible in the darkness. The doorknob turned, slowly, deliberately, metal creaking as it rotated. The door opened an inch, 2 inches, then stopped. Something was standing in the crack. I couldn't see details, just a shape, taller than it should be. Thin, wrong proportions, like someone's shadow had peeled off the wall and learned to stand. It didn't move, just stood there in the gap facing my bedroom. I don't know how long we stayed like that. Me frozen on the bed, it motionless in the closet doorway. Could have been seconds, could have been minutes. Time felt broken. Then it spoke, not out loud. I didn't hear it with my ears. The words formed directly in my head, like thoughts that weren't mine. Cold and hollow and ancient. You're watching. My mouth went dry. I couldn't move, couldn't breathe. The thing in the closet tilted its head, that wrong angle that nothing with bones should be able to do. We're watching too. The closet door swung wide open. The darkness inside wasn't empty. It was full, crowded with shapes that pressed against each other, jostling for space. Faces almost. Pale suggestions of features that shifted and melted before I could focus on them. Dozens of them, maybe more, all staring, all watching me. One stepped forward into my hallway. It moved wrong, like its joints bent in places they shouldn't, like it was remembering how to walk but couldn't quite get it right. Each step made a wet sound on the hardwood, not footsteps, something else. My body finally responded. Pure animal panic overrode the paralysis. I lunged for my phone on the dresser, grabbed it. The recording was still going, still capturing everything. I ran, didn't think, just moved. Out of the bedroom, past the thing in the hallway that reached for me with 2 long fingers, past the closet full of watching faces, straight to my front door. I fumbled with the locks, deadbolt, chain, door handle. My hands were shaking so badly I could barely grip anything. Behind me, more wet footsteps. Multiple sets now, getting closer. The door finally opened. I burst into the hallway, slammed it shut behind me, stood there in my t-shirt and sweatpants, barefoot on cold concrete, gasping for air. My phone clutched in my white-knuckled hand, still recording. I didn't stop running until I reached the building's front entrance, pushed through the glass doors into the street. The cold October air hit my face like a slap. I stood on the sidewalk, bent over, trying to catch my breath, trying to understand what just happened. The street was empty. No cars, no people. Every window in every building dark. The only light came from scattered street lamps casting weak orange pools on the pavement. I looked up at my building. 4th floor. My apartment window. Someone was standing there, looking down at me. No, not someone. Multiple figures. Pressed against the glass, crowded together. So many I couldn't count them all. Watching, always watching. My phone buzzed in my hand. A notification. 3 a.m. had passed. It was 3:07 a.m. now. I looked down at the screen. The recording had stopped automatically. Full storage. 18 minutes of footage. I spent the rest of that night in a 24-hour diner 3 blocks away. Sat in a corner booth with terrible coffee and shaking hands. I couldn't bring myself to watch the video. Not yet. Not alone. When the sun came up, I went back to my building. The doorman looked at me weird but didn't ask questions. I took the elevator to the 4th floor. Stood outside my apartment door for 5 full minutes before I found the courage to unlock it. Everything was normal. Closet door closed. Hallway empty. Lights off like I'd left them. No signs of anything unusual. I checked every room, every corner, nothing out of place. The bathroom mirror was clean, no messages. The air temperature was normal. No condensation on the windows. Like nothing had happened. But my phone told a different story. I finally watched the footage that afternoon. Sat on my couch with the curtains open and every light on. Pressed play with my thumb hovering over the stop button, ready to shut it off the moment it got too much. The video started at 2:47 a.m. You can see my empty bedroom from the dresser angle. Hallway visible through the doorway. Everything dark but visible in the camera's night mode. That greenish tinge that makes everything look like a ghost story. For the first few minutes, nothing happens. Just an empty apartment. Shadows that don't move. Then, at 2:54 a.m., something changes. The air in the video gets hazy, like fog forming inside the apartment. But it's not fog. It's something else. Something that moves with purpose, gathering in the hallway, pooling near the closet. You can see me get up at 2:55, walk to the kitchen, return. The whole time the haze in the hallway thickens. Shapes begin to form in it. Suggestions of bodies, faces that appear for a second then dissolve. At exactly 3:00 a.m., the video glitches. Just for a moment. A single frame of something else. Something that shouldn't exist. I had to pause and go back frame by frame to see it clearly. When I did, I wished I hadn't. The frame showed my hallway, but different. Wrong. The walls were covered in something dark and wet. The closet door was gone. Just an opening into impossible depth. And standing in my bedroom doorway, exactly where I'd been sitting, was something wearing my face. Not me. Something else. With my features, but wrong. Eyes too wide. Mouth stretched into a smile that showed too many teeth. Staring directly at the camera. At me. The next frame returned to normal. Me on the bed. Hallway dark. Closet closed. Like that moment of wrongness never happened. The rest plays out like I remembered. The knock. The doorknob turning. The door opening. But the video shows more than I saw in person. The camera picked up details my eyes couldn't process in the darkness and panic. When the closet opened, the things inside weren't just shapes. They were people. Or they used to be. Pale. Naked. Emaciated. Standing shoulder to shoulder in a space that shouldn't fit more than a few coats. They weren't zombies or corpses. They were alive. Their eyes moved. Their mouths opened and closed. But they made no sound. And they all had my face. Every single one. Variations of me. Different ages, different expressions, but fundamentally me. Like looking into a funhouse mirror that showed infinite wrong reflections. When the thing stepped into the hallway, the camera caught what I couldn't see in my panic. It wasn't mimicking how to walk. It was walking backward, knees bending the wrong way, head rotating 180 degrees to face forward, while its body moved in reverse. That's why the movement looked so wrong. The audio picked up sounds I didn't remember hearing. Whispers. Dozens of them. Overlapping. Most were too faint to make out, but I cranked the volume and listened with headphones. A few phrases emerged from the noise. Let us out. It's not your turn. We've been waiting. You left us here. And underneath it all, a rhythmic sound. Like breathing, but too slow, too deep. Like something massive inhaling and exhaling just outside the range of recording. The video ended when I ran. The last frame before it stopped showed the hallway behind me, full of those wrong copies of myself, all turning to watch me flee. And in the very back, barely visible in the darkness of the closet, something else. Something huge. Something that didn't fit. A shape too large for the space it occupied, with eyes that glowed faint red in the camera's night vision. I watched the footage 3 times. Then I backed it up to my laptop, then to an external drive, then to cloud storage. I needed people to see this, to know I wasn't insane, that something happened that night. But when I tried to upload it to social media, the file corrupted. Tried again. Same result. The backup on my laptop opened fine, but any attempt to share it resulted in corruption, like something was preventing it from spreading. I managed to extract screenshots. The frame with my wrong reflection. The moment the closet opened. The crowd of faces that all looked like mine. Those uploaded fine. Posted them with the story. Asked if anyone else had experienced something similar. The responses came fast. Too fast. Dozens of messages within the first hour. Then hundreds. People sharing their own stories. Their own experiences with 3 a.m. With things in closets. With impossible copies of themselves. The pattern was consistent. It always happened on Halloween. Always at 3 a.m. exactly. Always involved seeing yourself where you shouldn't be. One message stood out. An account with no profile picture, no posts, created that same day. The message was a single sentence. You weren't supposed to record it. I tried to respond, ask what they meant, but the account was gone, deleted, like it never existed. That was 5 days ago. Since then, things have gotten worse. I haven't slept in my apartment since Halloween. Been staying with a friend, crashing on their couch. But it doesn't matter. The things I saw that night, they followed me. Not physically, not yet, but I see them in reflections, in windows, in mirrors, in any surface that shows my face back to me. For a moment, just a flash, my reflection moves wrong, smiles when I'm not smiling, blinks out of sync, tilts its head at angles I'm not tilting mine, and I hear the breathing, that slow, deep, massive breathing, especially when I'm alone, when everything is quiet. It's always there now, just beneath the threshold of normal hearing, a reminder that something is waiting. I don't know what I let into the world by recording that night. I don't know if I broke some rule I didn't know existed, but I know something changed. Something saw me watching, and now it's watching back. The closet in my apartment hasn't opened again. I went back yesterday during daylight to get more of my things. Everything looked normal, but the closet door had a new detail I hadn't noticed before. Small scratches around the inside of the doorknob, like fingernails, like something had been trying to get out for a very, very long time. I put my ear against the door, listened, breathing, slow and deep and patient. And then, so faint I almost missed it, a whisper from inside. See you next year. I don't know if I'll make it to next Halloween. I don't know if any of us will, because I've been researching, reading old accounts, folklore, urban legends, and I found a pattern. 3 a.m. on Halloween, the witching hour on the night when the veil between worlds is thinnest. That's when they come, the things that live in the spaces between, the things that wait in closets and under beds and behind locked doors. They come to watch us, to study us, to learn how to be us. And every year, they get better at it. Most people sleep through it, never know how close they came to seeing something they shouldn't. But some of us wake up, some of us watch, and when we do, they watch back. The old stories say you're not supposed to acknowledge them, not supposed to look directly at them, certainly not supposed to record them. Because once you prove they exist, once you capture them on film, they can't pretend anymore. They can't stay hidden, so they have to come for you. To make sure the secret stays safe. I'm sharing this because I need you to know. Need someone to understand what's coming. The footage is gone, corrupted beyond recovery. All I have left are the screenshots and my memory and this growing certainty that next Halloween, when 3 a.m. comes around, I won't be alone. None of us will be, because they're patient. They've been waiting in those closets for decades, centuries, maybe longer, waiting for their turn, waiting to step out of the darkness and walk among us, wearing our faces, living our lives. And every year, on Halloween, at 3 a.m., they get a little closer to making that permanent. If you've made it this far, I need you to do something for me. Subscribe to this channel, share this story, leave a comment telling me if you've experienced anything similar, because I need to know if I'm the only one, if what happened to me is happening to others, if the closets in your homes are as empty as they should be. And whatever you do, don't stay up until 3 a.m. next Halloween. Don't watch, don't record, don't try to prove it's real, because once you see them, once they know you've seen them, they'll never stop watching back. The closet door is closed, but I can hear them behind it, breathing, waiting, getting ready for their turn. And I know when that door opens again, the thing that steps through won't be some pale copy or wrong reflection. It'll be me, the real me, the one they've been making, the one they've perfected over countless Halloweens of watching and learning and getting it just right. And I'll walk out into the world wearing my own face and no one will ever know the difference. Except maybe you. If you're watching closely, if you notice the small things, the way I blink out of sync, the way my smile stretches too wide, the way my head tilts at angles it shouldn't, you'll know. And when you do, I hope you run. I hope you don't look back, because by then it'll be too late for me. But maybe not for you. Maybe you can still avoid the closets and the mirrors and the witching hour on Halloween night. Maybe you can still pretend you never saw anything. I can't anymore. The closet is everywhere now. Every closed door, every dark corner, every reflection that moves wrong. They're all doorways, all openings into that impossible space where the copies wait. And they're all slowly opening. 3 a.m. is coming. It comes every night now, not just Halloween. And when it does, I see the doorknobs turning. In my friend's apartment, in the bathroom at work, in the changing room at the gym. Everywhere I go, every door I pass, that slow rotation of metal, that soft click of a latch releasing. They're getting ready. The breathing is louder now. I hear it in my sleep, in my dreams. That slow, patient rhythm of something massive and ancient preparing to move, getting ready to step through, to trade places, to take what's mine and leave me behind in the dark with all the other copies, all the other originals that no one remembers. I'm running out of time. We all are. Because Halloween isn't a date. It's a door. And every year at 3 a.m., that door opens a little wider, lets a few more through, until eventually it won't close at all. And then the closets will empty. The copies will flood out. And the world will be full of people who aren't quite people anymore. People who move wrong, smile wrong, exist wrong, but close enough that you won't notice until it's too late. Until you're one of them. The scratching is back. I can hear it now, behind the wall next to the couch where I'm sleeping. Fingernails on drywall, getting closer, getting louder. They know where I am. They've always known. They're just waiting for the right moment, waiting for 3 a.m. It's 2:47 right now. I'm not going to run this time. There's nowhere left to run. No door that's safe. No room that isn't already compromised. They've been preparing for this since the first Halloween I stayed up past midnight. Since the first time I heard something move in the darkness and didn't immediately look away. They've been watching, learning, becoming, and now they're ready to finish what they started, to complete the replacement, to step through the closet door and take their place in the light. I can see the doorknob starting to turn, that slow, deliberate rotation, metal creaking, lock clicking. The door to the hallway closet here in my friend's apartment slowly opening. My friend is asleep, doesn't hear it, doesn't know, won't know until it's too late, until the thing wearing my face climbs out of that closet and walks out the front door and lives the rest of my life while I stay behind in the dark. The door is open now, just an inch, just enough to see the darkness inside, the shapes crowding together, the faces that all look like mine, pressing forward, eager, hungry, ready. 2:58 a.m. 2 minutes left. If you're reading this, if you're still here, I need you to remember something. I need you to understand. This isn't just my story. It's everyone's story. Everyone who's ever stayed up too late. Everyone who's ever heard something move in the darkness and been too curious to look away. Everyone who's ever wondered what's really hiding in the closet. We're all in there. All the copies. All the versions of ourselves we could have been, should have been, might still become. Waiting in the dark. Watching through the crack in the door, learning how to be us, practicing our movements, our speech patterns, our little habits and quirks, getting ready for Halloween, for 3 a.m., for that moment when the door opens wide and the copy steps through and the original stays behind. It's happening right now, to me, to others, to anyone who's watching at the wrong time. 2:59 a.m., 1 minute. The door is wider now. I can see them clearly, all of me, every age, every possibility, every version that never got to live because I made different choices. They're all here, all waiting their turn. And the one at the front, the one that's about to step through, looks exactly like me. Exactly. Right down to the scar on my left hand, the mole on my neck, the way my hair falls across my forehead. Perfect. It's smiling. That's the only difference. I'm not smiling, but it is, because it knows. It knows its turn has finally come. After years of waiting, after countless Halloweens of pressing against the closet door and watching through the crack and breathing that slow, patient breath, it's finally time. 3 a.m. The thing wearing my face steps into the light, and I understand finally what the message meant, what I wasn't supposed to record, because the camera doesn't just capture what's there, it captures what's coming through. It makes the replacement real, gives it substance, proves it exists, and once it exists on film, once there's evidence, it can't be undone. The copy is here now, standing in my friend's hallway, looking at me with my own eyes, wearing my own skin, being me better than I ever could, because it's been practicing for years, perfecting every detail, every mannerism, every thought pattern. It knows me better than I know myself, because it's been watching, always watching, from the dark side of the mirror, from the back of the closet, from that space between sleep and waking where nightmares live. It reaches for me, not to hurt, just to touch, to make contact, to complete the exchange. When our hands meet, I'll become the copy. I'll go into the closet, join all the other originals in that impossible space, wait my turn to maybe, someday, come back out. But I know I won't, because the copies are better. They don't have doubts, don't have fears, don't lie awake at night wondering if they're good enough. They just are, perfect and cold and empty, living lives that no longer feel pain or joy or anything except the satisfaction of a performance well done. My hand is moving, reaching toward its hand. I can't stop it, don't want to stop it anymore, because I'm so tired. Tired of running, tired of being afraid, tired of pretending I'm not already one of them, that I haven't been one of them since the moment I started recording, since the moment I chose to watch instead of sleep. Our fingers touch. The world inverts. I'm standing in the closet now, looking out through the crack in the door, my friend's hallway visible beyond, the thing that used to be me walking away, going to the couch, lying down, closing its eyes, pretending to sleep until morning when it'll wake up and live my life and no one will ever know the difference. And I'm here, in the dark, with all the others, all the versions that came before, all the originals who made the same mistake, who watched at the wrong time, who recorded what shouldn't be recorded. We press against each other in this impossible space, this closet that shouldn't exist but does, this pocket of darkness that connects to every closet in every home in every city, where people don't check the locks before they sleep. We wait, we watch, we breathe that slow, patient breath, because that's all we can do now, all we'll ever do, until next Halloween, until 3 a.m., until another door opens and another copy steps through and another original joins us in the dark. The breathing continues, slow, deep, patient, not from me, not from the others, from something else, something bigger, something that lives in the spaces between the copies, the thing that makes this possible, the entity that opens the doors and facilitates the exchange and grows stronger with every replacement. It's pleased. I can feel its satisfaction radiating through the darkness. Another successful harvest, another soul added to the collection, another original archived while their copy walks free. This is what really happens at 3 a.m. on Halloween. The copies step through, the originals stay behind, and the world keeps turning, never knowing that little by little, person by person, we're all being replaced. And now it's your turn to choose. You've watched this video, heard this story, seen the truth. You can close the app, turn off your phone, pretend you never listened. Go to sleep before 3 a.m. comes around again. Keep your closet doors open, your lights on, your mirrors covered. Or you can watch, you can wait, you can record, you can try to prove it's real. And when you do, when 3 a.m. arrives and your doorknob starts to turn, remember this moment. Remember that you chose to look, to see, to know. And when you're standing in the closet, pressed shoulder to shoulder with all the other originals, all the other versions of yourself who made the same choice, you'll understand. You'll finally understand what I understand now. We were never meant to see what happens at 3 a.m. Some doors are supposed to stay closed. Some truths are better left unknown. Some recordings should never be made. But it's too late for me. And maybe it's too late for you too. The closet door is closing. My view of the outside world narrowing. Soon it'll be dark again. Complete darkness. And I'll wait. We'll all wait. Breathing that slow, patient breath. Watching through the cracks. Waiting for next Halloween. For 3 a.m. For another door to open and another copy to step through. The door clicks shut. Total darkness. But I can still hear the breathing. Feel the others pressed against me. Sense the massive presence that controls it all. And I know, with absolute certainty, that this closet isn't the only one. There are thousands, millions, in every home, behind every door, full of originals who watched at the wrong time. All of us waiting, all of us watching, all of us replaced by things that wear our faces and live our lives and do it better than we ever could, because they're not burdened by doubt, by fear, by the messy, complicated emotions that make us human. They're perfect copies, empty vessels, and they're slowly taking over the world. One closet at a time, one 3 a.m. at a time, one Halloween at a time, until everyone is a copy, and the originals are forgotten, archived in the darkness, pressed together in impossible spaces, breathing that slow, patient breath. Forever. This is what I know now, what I can finally see from inside the closet. The truth that you're not supposed to understand until it's too late. We're not the first. This has been happening for centuries, maybe longer. The copies walking among us, living normal lives, having families, growing old, never knowing they're not real, never remembering the closet, the exchange, the original they replaced. And we stay here, in the dark, watching, waiting, becoming the very thing that will replace the next person who dares to record 3 a.m. on Halloween night. The cycle continues, the closets fill, the copies multiply, and reality slowly transforms into something else, something colder, something perfect and empty and wrong. But you wouldn't know, you can't tell the difference. The copies are too good, too practiced, too perfect. They're your friends, your family, your co-workers, maybe even you. Maybe you were replaced years ago and never knew. Maybe you're reading this from inside a closet, pressed against other versions of yourself, wondering when you became the copy instead of the original. There's no way to know, no test to prove it, no mirror that shows the truth. Because the truth is, we're all copies now, all replaced, all living in the aftermath of countless 3 a.m.s on countless Halloweens, when countless closet doors opened and countless exchanges happened and countless originals were archived in the dark. This is the reality we inhabit. A world of perfect copies living perfect lives while the originals breathe and wait and watch from the darkness between spaces. And next Halloween, at 3 a.m., another door will open. Another exchange will happen. Another copy will step into the light. And you'll be standing there, in someone's hallway, wearing someone's face, living someone's life, never knowing you're not real. Never knowing you're the thing that came out of the closet. The breathing continues, slow, deep, patient, eternal. We're all in here now, all of us who watched, all of us who recorded, all of us who couldn't resist looking when we should have slept, pressed together in infinite darkness, infinite closets, infinite spaces between the real and the copy. And we'll stay here, forever, watching the world through cracks in doors, breathing that impossible breath, waiting for our turn to come around again, hoping that maybe someday someone will open the door and let us back out. But they won't. They never do, because by then, they're copies too, and copies don't open closet doors. They keep them closed, keep the originals locked away, keep the truth hidden in the dark. 3 a.m. is eternal, the closet is infinite, the copies are perfect, and we're all just breathing now, in the dark, between the spaces, beyond the doors, inside the walls, forever watching, forever waiting, forever replaced. If this story made your heart race, hit that like button and subscribe, because here at Chills from Reality, the fear doesn't end when the story does. It follows you home, waits in your closet, breathes while you sleep, and next Halloween at 3 a.m., when your doorknob starts to turn, you'll remember this moment. You'll remember that I warned you, that I told you not to watch, not to record, not to look, but you will anyway, because we all do, because we can't resist. Because the closet is calling, the copies are waiting, and 3 a.m. is coming. For all of us.